Hello everyone, welcome to ICRA Technology. In this video, we will learn how to import data from different data sources such as CSV file, web data source, and learn how to clean, transform, and prepare your data for analysis. First, let's start with connecting a CSV file. Download this dataset. This dataset is of CSV type. CSV files are the text file that can be opened in Excel or Notepad. Here we have downloaded the dataset. Now let's come in Power BI desktop. To connect a CSV file, click on Get Data. Choose Text or CSV. Choose the file and click Open. Here we can see the data. Click on Load. The data is successfully loaded in Power BI. Another type of data source that we can connect is a web data source. We can bring the data from any website or Wikipedia. Here we have a list of sovereign states by date of formation. We can bring this data in Power BI. So to do this, you can click here and copy the link from here. Or you can copy this link that I provided. Copy this link. Click on Get Data. Choose Web. Paste the link here and click on OK. Here we have all the tables. We can preview the data by clicking here. Here we have a proper data. So to bring this data, you can select this table. You can preview all the tables and select the tables that you need to load in Power BI. Now I am only loading one table. Now the data is loaded successfully. We can preview this data in table view. We can change the name of this table as by double clicking here. We can name this as countries formation. So we have seen how to load data from web data source and CSV file. Now, when we create a report or a dashboard, we go through from 3 steps: data transformation, means cleaning and organizing our data. Second is data modeling, means create the relationship between tables. And third is creating the visualizations. So in this video, we will learn how to transform, means clean your data. So to clean your data, Power BI offers Power Query Editor. Click on Transform Data to open the Power Query Editor. Here we are in the Power Query Editor. Let's understand the interface. In the left side, here we have the Queries section. This shows all the data sets or queries that we are working with. Each query represents a data source like our CSV file or web data. Here in the middle, we have a data grid section. This is where you see your data. Each column is representing the fields and each row is representing the records. Now, in the right side, we have the applied steps section. This tracks every change or transformation you make to your data. For example, if you remove a column, change a value or filter rows, it will be added as a step here. This is useful because you can click on any step to review it, or even undo the step by clicking this small cancel icon. And here in the top left corner, we have a close and apply button. Means when you are done making changes to your data, so you save them and go back to your report to see the updated data. You can click to apply to just apply the changes, and you can click on close to close the Power Query Editor without saving the changes you have made. So now let's try a few common tasks in Power Query. So for that, download the dataset. Download this country's world dataset. Click on File, Download. Here we have downloaded the dataset. Now come back to Power Query. We have to connect that downloaded data source. So we can connect the data from here by clicking New Source. Click on Excel Workbook. Choose the country's world and click Open. Here we have this data having two sheets. Sheet 1 is completely empty, so we don't need this. We will only select this sheet and click on OK. Here we have this data. So first, let's remove all the unwanted rows. If you have blank or extra rows, select on that row and click on remove rows. Here we have some options. Where in this case we select remove top rows because we want to remove the top two rows. It is asking for the number of rows, so we will write 2. Click on OK. And here we can see the top 2 rows have removed. And this step is applied. Now if we observe, the first row should be the header of this data, like country, country code, region. This is the heading. So click on this row and click on use first row as header. So now the first row has promoted to header. Now we have some null values here. We can remove them by clicking here and clicking on remove rows, remove blank rows. But we have another option. We can click on this small arrow here. Here we can see the null option is also checked. So we can uncheck this option and click on OK. Here we can see all the null value has gone from this column. Now our data is looking much clean. Another thing, we have here the data type of this column. Like the country has all the text value. So Power BI by default set this column as text. But here we can see in country code, Power BI was unable to set a data type for it. So in this column, all the values are text. So we can set the data type as text. You can convert all the data type. You can change them. Now here we can see the last column has no values. So we can remove this column by selecting this column and click on remove columns. We have two options here, remove columns or remove other columns. If we click on remove columns, only this column will be removed. And if we select remove other columns, all the columns other than this will remove. So in this case, we will select remove columns. Now this column has removed. Another thing we can do is we have some null values between the data. So it is not looking good. So we can replace this null by a dash. So to remove this null, we can select the column that has the null value. And we can click on transform and choose replace values. Choose replace values. Click on the value that we want to replace. In our case, it is null. And we want to replace this null by a dash. We have to enter a number. So we can simply write a 0. We can replace this null by 0. Click on OK. Now we can see that this 0, now this null is replaced by 0. You can replace all the nulls by 0 by yourself. Now another thing is that if you want to see the literacy rate in whole numbers, here we can see that it is in decimal. If you want to see them as a whole number, so you can extract the characters. You can use the extract character. Click on add column. Use extract. Here we have some options. So you can extract the characters by length. Like you can specify 1, 2, 3. So it will extract all the 3 characters. First characters, last characters. You can specify a range. But in this case, we will use text before delimiter, because we want all the text before this point. So we will choose a delimiter as point. Okay. Now in the extreme right, you can see the new column is created having all the whole numbers. You can rename this column by double clicking here. You can name is as literacy whole number. Now we have created this new column. You can make such more new columns according to your need and practice extracting the characters and replacing the values. So in this video, we have learned how to connect a CSV file and a web data source and learned some basic transformation tasks. Now in the next video, we will learn some advanced transformation methods. Hope you like this video. Thank you for watching.